The best way to scale as an insurance agent in 2025 and beyond is going to be completely different than what you're doing right now. I can probably guarantee that. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Dylan, and I have scaled agents past 100 directs a month. I've even had 7 other agents in my program get past 50 directs a month. And I literally learned this by leveraging the power of social media. If you're looking at this screen right here, you can see that I have made agents go viral consistently. And we've also scaled agents with their actual cash collected rate from selling policies to the recruits that I've sent them. So this is selling Index Universal Life, term, and I've even had clients land big, gigantic annuity rollovers, which is super dope. Like Robert in the program, who was able to cash collect $60,000 from 2 recruits. That was super, super crazy. But look, I'm trying to tell you guys right now that what you're doing to generate your own recruits needs to change. And you need to start viewing yourself more as a business owner rather than doing the manual outreach that your IMO is teaching you. So let's just get straight into exactly how you can scale using social media. And I'm going to be covering in this training exactly how I've been able to take some of our agents to, like I said, beyond 100 directs a month. All right, so what you're looking at here is the bare bones. What do we need in order to get people to buy into us as recruiters in the insurance space at very massive scale? Well, you got to start with building a social media that's actually going to sell for you, right? That means that on your Instagram and your Facebook account, you can create a machine. You can position yourself as an authority figure that gets people bought into you. So that always you constantly have people that have never been hit up by other agents that are flowing directly into your Instagram account that you can turn into actual recruits consistently. So what I like to do is I start by getting my clients to optimize their Instagram. Now, a lot of agents don't know how to do this, especially for 2025, because you guys are branding yourself incorrectly. So number one, I'm going to cover the very in-depth things that we're doing, which is high quality profile picture. You guys need, I should be able to see your face, right? If you're running ads on your Instagram account, you need to show a high quality professional photo of you. I don't care if it's AI, I don't care if it's a real photo, but it needs to be there. All right, the next thing that we're looking at is your follow to following ratio. Do you have more followers than you are following people? That's another big one, right? If you have 200 followers and you're following 19,000 people, it looks desperate, okay? Let's be real here. You need to remove that. You need to unfollow a lot of people. The next thing, you need to have a good statement, a good helping niche statement, and a good credibility statement. So like Cole here, he's stating very clearly, I'm helping this one person, I'm helping corporate professionals ditch the 9-to-5. I've scaled my own financial services industry or agency, and I'm a father, husband, business coach. That's automatically going to build trust with anybody that comes to his profile and checks him out. From there, you want to make sure you have a call to action as well. So something like DM me the word blank if you want to hear more, or click the link below to book a free call with me to see if you qualify, etc. Right? We should be speaking directly to our audience and telling them to do something to take action. All right. Now the next phase on your Instagram account is you need proof of results. Guys, we live in a recession right now on the internet where nobody is trusting anybody. Everyone is skeptical. Everyone has been burned. Everyone is claiming, oh, I can help you get rich in 6 months. Like everyone's claiming that, right? So if we move to a cold market, meaning you're targeting United States of America or all of Canada or wherever you're located at, we need to be able to build quick trust over the internet digitally. So the way we do that is we like to leverage highlights, which many of you watching this are already familiar with what this is, right? So I have my clients do 3, right? Wins plus results, lifestyle, and FAQ. Now, if you're a beginner agent watching this, right, you need to do what's called borrowed authority. What does that mean? You're a life insurance agent probably working for a big, gigantic company that's been around probably before you were born, right? If that's the case, your company has tons of credibility. You need to showcase the results of your company, meaning screenshots of wins, screenshots of success. Maybe you have a Telegram group where people are crushing it, closing $8,000 AP, right? You need to be showing proof, because when people join or coming from an ad on your Instagram, they're looking for all the proof that your opportunity is legit, okay? So you need to borrow authority and make sure that you're posting in your wins and results tab. Now, the next thing is lifestyle and B-roll. I always tell agents, I don't care if you've gotten millions of dollars in the insurance space or not. You guys are selling a dream at the end of the day. And if your Instagram looks like you're selling the nightmare, well, no one's going to buy into you. Okay. No one's going to want to work with you. No one's going to respond to you. So you need to make sure that you take advantage of what's around you. So I'm always telling agents, hey, go to like a nice area by the beach. For me, I live in San Diego, right? I go to hotels, I go to rooftop bars, and I bring a friend with me and I have him take photos of me, or I take my spouse with me and she takes photos of me. Whatever you got to do to make it happen, you need to have lifestyle content, lifestyle photos, and make them nice, because people want to see that you're somebody that's produced fruit. Okay. So I don't care how you get your lifestyle posts, get them out there, because if you want to recruit at scale, you need to be able to show some credibility, right? And then number 3 is FAQs. So I'm not going to give away exactly how I tell my agents to do this, because obviously I can't give away everything for free on this call. But FAQs is really, really huge. If you know how to handle objections properly through stories, Instagram stories and Facebook stories, you're going to be able to cook results like crazy, because you're going to handle every single objection that a cold prospect would have about your recruiting opportunity before they get on the HI. And that's going to educate them. That's going to warm them up. And guess what? When you have warm prospects showing up to your account, guess what's going to happen? You're going to close at a much higher percentage. All right. Now, the next thing we like to do with agents that have just completely outdated Instagram accounts is we like to do pin posts plus proof. So we like to incorporate storytelling. Storytelling is really, really important if you're trying to recruit somebody, meaning you want to tell the story of how you got into the financial services industry, because no one's passionate about being in the industry, right? Everyone, it says, oh, insurance is lame, insurance is boring, I've never been passionate to join this industry. That's a huge objection people have. So you need to share the transformation, right? It's kind of like, this is how I went from being overly obese to shredding down to a six-pack, right? It's like, it's going to inspire somebody to want to do the same and follow your lead. And storytelling also psychologically positions you as an authority figure, somebody that can be trusted, right? So I tell all my agents, regardless of experience levels, you need to share a story that's sellable, which I hope you completely do that in my program. Now, on top of that, we need nice branding. Branding does a lot of selling for us. It's psychologically telling people that you're clean, that you're authoritative, right? The fonts that we choose, the colors, right? The copyright, right? All these types of things are going to be selling people for you. And a lot of agents are just relying on just hard selling over a phone, or hard selling just strictly over a recruiting interview, and they're wondering why they're closing recruits that aren't aligned with their culture. They're quitting. They're not generating leads for themselves. They're not motivated. Why is that? Well, because there was no funnel prior to that got them sold on the dream that you're selling. They're so uneducated on what it is that you're really doing. But if you have an Instagram that does all this for you prior to them opting in, you're going to do yourself a huge favor. Now, furthermore, from the pin post and story, what we really want to do is we want to film content, and we want to also position ourselves with nice Canva edits that are up to date, that speak directly to the target audience that we're looking for to recruit, right? So in my program, I help you pocket into one of my leads databases, right? So we like to recruit military members, corporate professionals, sales reps, licensed agents, macho audiences, right? All these types of great audiences that make for good recruits. So this client here is targeting corporate professionals. As you can see, this is like the before and after of like what I see you guys posting, and then what happens when you join my company, right? So when you guys are not working with me, this is what I'm noticing you guys have on your Instagram or your Facebook. It's like a bunch of random, weird, just posts that are AI, don't have your face, are confusing. There's words everywhere. It's not professional. Okay. The other thing I see you guys do alongside of this is you guys post high quality like videos of yourself, and you guys are talking and stuff, but it doesn't really resonate with people. That's because number one, you're not being yourself. Number two, it's obvious you're reading from a script, and it's not what Instagram wants to see, guys. You guys can't just post things because it looks nice. So I tell my clients, keep it real simple. Pick up your iPhone and film a video of your face, and just be human, be yourself. And I help you guys with the content ideas. Now, some content ideas that work great is sharing your story, again, right? Sharing advice, positioning yourself as a business professional that actually has wisdom, right? If you're able to do that through proper tonality, you're going to be very convincing to people, and they will be very happy to book a call with you to see if your opportunity is the right fit for them, and you can see if it's the right for them as well. So again, no high quality. We don't want to do like, you don't need a videographer. I don't want you guys doing nothing like that. In fact, like I said, do the opposite. The more simple, the better. Okay. No scripts. A lot of agents get this wrong. Agents are like, oh, I need a script in order to film a video of myself. Absolutely not. No. When you take somebody out on a coffee date, you don't need a script. You're literally just talking back and forth with them, right? If they ask you a question, you're just going to respond. It's the same thing when you film content. You're just overthinking it. And I see that all the time with big and small agency owners. Be yourself. The reason why is because when we flood your account with leads and people inquiring about your opportunity, what's going to happen is they just want to see that you're a real human being. They don't want to see that you're a thought leader or anything like that, or you're coming off as something you're not. That is going to turn them off. That's where we're at right now in the market, and you have to understand that. So that's why I tell you guys, be authentic, and make sure you're leveraging tonality that is authoritative, meaning you sound convincing, you sound confident in what you're saying, and you sound firm. You just don't sound inauthentic. Stress that enough. No call to actions. Stop saying call to actions in all your videos. That's the other thing I teach you guys. When you're filming branding videos to get people to know you, like you, trust you, and position yourself as the authority, you should not be pitching people in every video. Oh, okay, if you guys like this video, DM me the word blank. DM me the word blank to see if you qualify. Like, No, like just be value focused first and you'll be surprised what that does to your audience. Okay. Now, what I just covered with you is the branding portion. It's just the branding, right? There's more to this. Now, what's gotten my agents to over 100 recruits a month, it is not from posting and praying. It is not from posting Instagram content and crossing your fingers hoping you go viral. This is the portion that's going to sell for you, right? This is the positioning. Okay. It's going to get more people to trust you. It's going to get you more leads because they're bought into you as a recruiter. But the real secret sauce is what happens on the back end with the marketing. Okay. This is where we're investing money into ads to actually predictably get people bought into us as a recruiter. That's the next thing. You don't want to be selling your company. Okay. You're not making an ad about your IMO. You're not making an ad about your company. You need to be a sellable human being, which means that you need to have an identity of somebody that can actually help people. And that's something that we do in my program as well, is raise identity. Your literal identity needs to raise for this to work. If you are coming off as insecure or scared or whatever it is, cocky, guess what? People like to do business with people they like. And if you're not a likable person or you don't learn to be a likable person in my program, no one's going to get bought into you and you're going to waste a lot of money. So really important. You understand that. Now, what happens with the actual marketing that we do with you? Well, we get you on Instagram and Facebook ads, and our team is specialists. We know how to plug in the right targeting for qualified niches that have never been hit up before by other people that are just banging out power dialers all day and just calling all the same leads that you're given. Okay, so we're going to get you an audience that is directly tailored towards you, that will resonate with you. On top of that, we do a whole entire quality optimization process to make sure that we're only targeting quality people, right? We try to avoid all the broke people, all the people that are victim mindset, right? Because they're not going to be a good fit for your opportunity anyways. It's really important that we weed those people out. And audience segmenting, I'm not going to get into that on this training here, right? We're going to give you proven ads. Now, a proven ad, what is this? This is an ad that speaks from tonality conviction, meaning you need, like, again, same thing with the branding. You got to sound convincing, okay? I always tell agents as well, leverage backgrounds. What does that mean? When you film videos, be cognizant of what's behind you, especially if you're a newer agent watching this. Even if you are a really big agency owner and you're watching this, one of the things that you can leverage in your videos is what's behind you. And I always teach agents that it's not just what you say, it's how you're saying it, and it's also what's all around you. Let's just say I'm filming and there's a garbage can behind me and a laundry basket full of all kinds of like dirty clothes, but I'm like filming a video and that's behind me and I'm telling you, hey, I can help you make 6 figures in 6 months. It's like, dude, you got all kinds of nasty stuff behind you. I don't trust you. But what if it's the same person and I took that person in a different environment? I put them in a nice upscale restaurant in Del Mar, California, where there's nice glass walls, you can see the beach, and then I filmed that same video, same script. Which one do you think you'll trust more? Probably the one with some background conviction. By the way, in this type of an offer with recruiting, you want to come across like that. You want to go the extra mile in your videos because it will get you more leads. And that's just the way human psychology works. Okay. On top of that, you got to share proof. I don't care how you do this, right? I usually have agents say, hey, I was able to make $6,000 by helping one family in Ohio by doing X, Y, and Z. Here's how I did it. That's proof that your model works. If you're just getting on, like an ad and you're just saying, hey, join my opportunity, I can teach you how to make 6 figures, DM me blank. Like, it's like, there's no proof. I don't believe you, right? There's scammers everywhere. You're just another random person on the internet that's claiming all this crazy stuff. You need to show people proof on the internet, especially in cold market. Otherwise, you're going to set yourself up for a huge disaster. Okay. Camera quality. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean you need a fancy, expensive camera to film your ads. What I mean is you need an iPhone, and make sure that it's like decent quality. A lot of times people speak on the phone like this and your freaking ear sweat gets all over your camera. Wipe off your screen and film the video, right? Because sometimes I have agents that send me videos and it's all foggy. I'm like, dude, tens if not hundreds of thousands of people are about to see your video in the next week. Like, it looks disgusting. Go the extra mile, right? If you went on a stage and you were literally giving advice to a crowd of 100,000 people, okay? Don't you think you would dress up for that? Don't you think you'd get a haircut for that? Don't you think you'd look clean? It's the same thing with ads. You better look the part because so many people are going to be judging you from everything. How you look, how you sound, your camera quality, everything needs to be dialed in. Attire, what you're wearing, right? Especially for insurance agents, you guys are not like Grant Cardone or Alex Hermosi where everybody already knows who they are. They can literally wear a freaking trash bag and still close tons of deals from their ads. You are probably somebody watching this right now that doesn't have that type of authority. And if you do, you don't have that type of authority on the internet, right? At least 99% of you probably watching this. And if that's the case, you need to look the part. You need to wear a suit. You need to wear a nice business casual attire, right? So that way you look the part. You are recruiting people. You want to look professional. And then we give you a call to action. What that's going to lead to is a conversation in your DMs. Your your Instagram and your Facebook account is going to get hit with messages. So with that ad, the reason why I have found that DM conversations work the best is because you're able to see your recruiting leads straight through direct messenger. And there's a lot of pros to this as far as how this is going to help you close more recruits. Okay, number one is you can qualify them immediately. You can look at their profile picture. You can look at what their Instagram content is. Let's just say we're targeting like healthcare workers. You can tell right off the bat, like if this person has scrubs in their profile picture, or if they have a bio and they're saying that they work in healthcare as a nurse or something, like you're able to tell right off the bat what kind of person this is. On top of that, through the appointment setting process, we are building a lot of like nice touch points with these people to qualify them directly through our direct messages. So you don't have to necessarily get on a phone call with this person. We're qualifying them through prompts in the messages that, by the way, you can later delegate to an appointment setter, which is an actual human setter out in the Philippines or in another location like Egypt even, where they can literally just take this over for $5 an hour. And now all your leads are being chatted through an appointment setting system. And it really is just really optimal because you can DQ people right off the bat. Okay. Now the person is also going to be looking at who you are, right? This is going to help with your culture fit. So when it comes to the culture fit, you just want to make sure that this person is within the means of your culture, right? Do they fit in with your culture? Do they vibe with your culture? Do they share the same ethics, the same morals? Do they vibe with you as a leader? All these things, right? You want to make sure that these are dialed in. Otherwise, you're going to have people that quit. And so that's the really cool part about the psychology is it's not just a phone call. They get to check you out prior to the appointment. Okay. Kind of looks like this, right? So this is an actual screenshot of us sending the video sales letter, which I haven't got it into yet. We have you create a VSL in our program, and this is a 10-minute training that is really going to build a whole lot of trust with your recruits. By the way, if you want us to do this completely for you, all you got to do is click the link down below and you can schedule a call with us. We'll show you exactly how to build this out and we'll do it with you. That way you get it done correctly the first time. But what we're going to do is ultimately, we're just going to create a VSL that can be clickable, that educates people and builds authority, trust, credibility with the company, and gives them the step-by-step solution on how we're actually going to help them get results in our opportunity in the financial services industry. And as you can see, it does a really good job of activating your leads and getting them to say, wow, like this is an awesome presentation. It totally makes sense. They're educated on how much the background check is, and it really does get people activated to get on that call with you, which helps things like your show rate. Okay, so that VSL is really going to do a lot of heavy lifting for you when it comes to building trust and credibility with people over the internet. Now, within that conversation, the DMs as well, is you can literally DQ people in the DMs, right? So if they're saying things like, is this a job? I don't have any money, I'm unemployed, right? Our script is designed for it to nurture people in the DMs to really find out, like, is this person even a right fit for me? Okay, is this person even a right fit for my culture? We're able to tell right off the bat through social media. So that's really, really cool. Now, while you're having this conversation with people in the DMs from your ad on Facebook or Instagram, they're going to be checking out all this stuff up here. As you're having a conversation with them, they're going to go through your videos. They're going to check out who you are. They're going to get to know who, like, what you are, why you're credible, why you out of all the other agents. And this is really what the key is, guys, because when you build a real brand that's reputable, that builds trust, that's authentic, it gets people so bought into you. It warms people up for the call. It almost gives you like a celebrity effect, almost like they're going to know you already prior to getting on that call with you, which is why this funnel works really well when you pair these two together. Okay. So furthermore to that, on your actual VSL, which is also stands for a video sales letter, if you guys have never heard of a VSL, this is essentially what we want to do on the VSL. Okay, this is the presentation that we give you guys in the program. So ultimately, in the beginning, you need a strong hook to be able to grab people in. So when you go to create your presentation, you can use like Canva. Canva is an amazing software that we use. You guys can check it out, but basically you can create like presentation templates on there for selling people over the internet. I love it. Great program. But what you want to do is you want to open up like a Canva presentation deck and you want to give it a fancy title, a fancy hook, right? So our agents, we tell them, hey, like, just label it how to start a business in remote financial sales without quitting your job, making an additional 5 to 20K per month. Like, it's very intriguing and it's going to be educational and it's going to reel people in. So when you go to present this video sales letter, the first thing that you want to cover within the first like 20 to 30 seconds is results, meaning you got to show like real human beings that are crushing it in your IMO, whether you're in GFI, WFG, Primerica, whatever. Like, you just got to show proof like, hey, this works, right? Susan was able to make X. John was able to leave his full-time career and make X in just X time frame. And so what that's going to do is it's going to give people the proof that they need very desperately, okay? From there, you want to create a slide on your video sales letter that goes over yourself as a person, right? So my name is Dylan Saldivar. I've been in the industry now for X years. I've helped X amount of people in the corporate industry be able to make $5,000 a month in financial services. I'm a father, I'm a husband, whatever. Like, you just got to put credibility in there of yourself with a high quality professional photo of you inside of the actual presentation that you create for your VSL. Okay. Now, what we do after this is a step-by-step walkthrough, going over, okay, when we recruit you, when we bring you into our agency, this is how we're going to set you up for results. So step one, we're going to help you get licensed. You're going to take a background check. It's going to cost X amount of dollars. Step two, we help you generate your own recruits. We help you generate your own clients by doing this, this, and this. It usually takes this long. And then step three, we give you sales training. We give you onboarding material. We give you presentation decks. So that always when you work with us, you're set up for a win. Whatever your step-by-step process is, you want to be able to walk that person through that journey. So that always they know very transparently what this is and what this isn't, okay? When a recruit lead is educated properly and they show up to your hiring interview, they're going to be already pre-sold. They're going to know all about your opportunity. They're going to know that it costs money. They're going to know that results aren't guaranteed. And they're going to be a much easier lead to close because all you're going to do on the HI, the hiring interview, is pretty much just walk them through your typical presentation and get them to pay for their background check. Now, what a lot of agents need to learn to do better, what I find, is objection handling, right? So sometimes agents are going to throw around objections like, do I have to quit my job? Do I have to quit my full-time job for this? I don't know. What's another objection? How much money is it to get started? Do I need to spend my savings to get started? All these kinds of questions they're going to have about becoming a recruit of yours. Do I have to sell my friends and family? Like, how do I get my clients? All this kind of stuff. We actually handle this in this presentation. So towards the end, there's an FAQ slide, and it goes over every single potential objection that this person is already thinking. And that is really going to help them really just push over the edge to be educated on your opportunity. Okay, from there, it's a call to action to book a call with you, which leads to a 60 to 80% show rate across the board with all of my clients. Okay, because once a lead is really educated on your opportunity, trust me when I say this, they're going to be a lot more motivated to show up to your call. Okay, so that leads over to the HI, the hiring interview. Okay, now in the actual hiring interview, this is where you're on the one-on-one call when you're going to close a recruit. So we actually have a framework that we go by inside of our program. Now, this is something that you can incorporate in your sales script if you're struggling to recruit cold market, or if you've never ran ads before to get recruits. This is going to be gold for you. This framework will close recruits that are tap-rooted. It will close recruits that you get on LinkedIn. It will close recruits that you get over cold market, like we're talking like paid ads in the United States and Canada. It's a proven process that we really do. Okay, so I'll walk you through line by line what you want to be doing on your recruiting hiring interviews to properly get somebody sold on your opportunity, okay? So what we like to do is the first 1 to 2 minutes is rapport. We're only spending 1 to 2 minutes here. We're getting to know them a little bit. We're figuring out where they're located, whatever. We're breaking the ice. But then we need to take control. This is really going to set the tone for the call. Okay, so this is where you want to say something like, okay, Susan, well, I do have another interview after this in 45 minutes, so I want to get straight into this. Typically how these calls go is I'm going to ask you a few questions to see if this is the right fit, and then you say, okay, cool, does that sound good? They're already pre-framed, so they're not going to ramble on the call. You're going to jump straight into the hiring interview. A lot of agents skip over on hiring interviews is going over what this person's pain points are. Okay, we want to ask them questions like, what do they currently do for work? Okay, do they like what they do? What do they not like about what they do? Okay, what specific things do they feel like are holding them back from getting to their goal? Whatever, if, like, let's say their goal is making $10,000 a month or being able to work from home or whatever it is, like, what is the specific pain that they're enduring right now? And then we want to make it hurt, so that always towards the end of our call, they're more likely to move forward. Okay, when you have pain inside of your calls, it's going to make people want to take action quicker. Okay, so you don't want to skip over pain. Now, after pain, we like to cover what is this person's desired outcome. This is where you get to do dream selling and vision casting. You're asking this person, what does their dream life look like? What are some things that they want out of life? Okay, what kind of income do they want to be making? Do they want to work from home? Is there anybody they want to take care of? What does that life look like, etc.? This is really going to make it to where they're bought into more of you, and they are literally painting the picture of where they want to go in their life, what your opportunity is going to do for them. Okay, this is going to tie them in. It's going to put them in the buyer's pocket for you. Once you get into the actual presentation, this is where things start to change a bit, right? Now, I have audited a little bit over like 300 to 400 sales calls, recruiting interviews over my career. And what the main thing is that I realize, the thing that makes recruiters better than just the average recruiter is how you go through your presentation, okay? So just some quick gems for you watching this right now. You need to be able to cast vision on people during this presentation. Okay, don't just talk comp, Don't just talk insurance lingo. Don't just sell the company. All right. You need to constantly plant vision based off of what these people told you about what their desired outcome is. Okay. The next one is the crusade. Okay. Selling on your culture, letting them know that, hey, this is a specific culture that we possess and we protect this culture and we don't just let anybody in this culture. Okay. The next thing is huge. You don't want to just talk insurance lingo on the recruiting interview. You want to talk in fourth grade language and talk in stories. What I mean by this is you need to make it understandable to somebody that doesn't understand any insurance lingo whatsoever. If you do that, you're going to lose the person on the presentation. You're going to lose them completely. So you need to talk kind of like how Jesus in the Bible talks in parables. Literally, it has to be understandable to the everyday person. Okay, and then don't just go big on comp. Make it make sense in their life. Okay, explain what that type of money would do for their life, how it would feed into their vision, how accessible it is to make that type of money if they follow your plan. Okay, now what we do after the presentation is we like to do a temperature check. In other words, that we call this is the closing ladder. Okay, and the closing ladder is really where we're asking 3 key questions to make sure that the person sees the value in what we broke down. We get a temperature check on a scale of 1 to 10 to see where they're at and how confident they are on a scale of 1 to 10 on what we showed them is exactly what's going to help them get to their goal. This is going to tell you how well you did your presentation, how well it made sense, and what was the biggest thing they took away from your presentation. What's the most valuable thing they saw? Again, we're moving them into the buying pocket, because if they're unable to say anything on this portion of the recruiting interview, that will tell you that you did not do a good job going over your presentation, because they probably zoned out. Okay, and they cannot recap anything that you just let them know you went over. Next is the 3 C's. Okay, we like to go over 3 C's to make sure that these people are the right culture fit. Okay. Now, instead of giving away the opportunity, we like to use takeaway psychology. This is where you don't want to just sell your opportunity. You want to keep letting people know, like, hey, like, you need to sell yourself to me as the recruiter on why we should even consider your application with us on this call. Okay. So I'll go into more of that in a second. And then lastly is go in for the background. Okay. And naturally, I always tell agents the real sale, the real recruiting process does not happen until you hear the first objection. And depending on what niche you're targeting, there is so many different niches that you could hear in a person. A lot of the times people are still skeptical about your company. Maybe they're skeptical about you as a person, as you as a recruiter getting them a result. Okay. Or maybe they feel like this is an MLM or it's a pyramid scheme or whatever the misconceptions are, right? This is a very common thing that you're going to notice within your actual HI. Okay. So we do have objection handling frameworks. I really recommend that you dial those in for your own self, document and write out every single objection that you're hearing on your hiring interviews. And then you need to create frameworks for how to handle those. That always, when you recruit people on your downline, you're now training your recruits on how to get around these objections in the future. Okay, a lot of agency owners don't do that. What most of you guys are doing is you literally are just learning recruiting through sheer execution, and then you recruit somebody, and then you have that person basically watch you on the call, which that's technically called shadowing, but there's better ways to do this. Alex Hormozy says they're literally, if you follow a system that is proven script by script, word by word, you can take literally anybody and turn them into a closer, turn them into a recruiter. Okay, it's not just through shadowing. Okay. So with that, I'll kind of show you what this actual script looks like. So this is an example of what our script looks like in-house. You want to make sure that you have every single thing teed up, ready to go. That always, when you open up your recruiting interview, you have a literal script line by line that's plug and play, ready to go, that builds the right frame, builds the right authority, and asks the right questions. A lot of agents are skipping over these key questions that may work for like warm market and taprooting friends and family, but when we go to scale you using social media, you're not asking the right questions that take somebody through a proper buyer's journey. Okay, so this is an optimized sales script that we have curated in our program to be able to close recruits from anywhere in the world. I mean, I've literally had beginner, brand new agents that have been 3 months in the game that have closed recruits off of this script alone and by asking the right questions. Okay, and so that's really how you want to position yourself in this, is making sure that you have systems in place for scale and there's actually a predictable result that we can get. Now, when done properly with the mixture of your VSL, right, with a mixture of the appointment setting, with a mixture of all the free content they saw of you giving free value, and all the authority and testimonials, we are noticing a 40% close rate with the agents that are literally following this to a T. Okay, that's really solid. That means out of 10 people, you're closing and recruiting 4 of them, which is really awesome. Okay. Now, after that, that's really where there's more to this overall. Okay. So if you ever want to run ads or run your own ads on social media for recruiting in particular, you have to be able to track your data. That is like the number one thing is ad tracking. Okay. I'm going to briefly walk you through this. It's not complex. I'll make it make sense to you right now. Okay. So in marketing, you got to be able to see a lot of different metrics. Now, if you're spending $10 a day, these things are basically going to come very slowly. The more money you spend in marketing, the more you are going to scale quicker and the more fast you're going to get hit with data. Okay. So let's just say we're spending $50 a day. We need to be tracking the daily amount of spend that we are spending every single day. Ideally, if you want to start off, I always recommend 33 bucks a day. That's about $1,000 a month. And with the proper ad structure and the proper branding, you can notice about 7,200 leads per month with the DM strategy in particular. Now, cost per lead, what I've noticed in the insurance space, when you go to run your own ads, let's just say $6 to $10 cost per lead. This is the lead. This is the amount you're paying per message that you're getting for every single prospect that's interested in your recruiting opportunity. $6 to $10 is the sweet spot. Anything above $10, you can optimize that. Anything below $6, you're usually attracting a lot of low identity people. Low identity people and people that are just broke. Okay, so you know ideally this is like the cost per lead that we like to optimize for. Now, as far as cost per quality lead, you're gonna pay about 30 to 40 bucks for a quality lead. Now, a quality lead is somebody that maybe is making six-figure income. Maybe they're married. Maybe they have multiple kids, right? A little bit more sophisticated, etc. Right? A-player type people. Okay, this is naturally gonna cost you more because again, they're higher quality people. So we don't want to just measure our data off of the cost per lead that we're generating, right? We want to figure out how much are we actually paying for a quality person. In marketing, you're going to notice that typically about 30 to 40% of your actual overall leads are going to be quality leads. The other 60% are going to be people that are broke reaching out to you. They're not worth your energy. They're not worth your time. That's very typical in marketing. So if you're noticing low quality leads in your marketing, that is pretty typical. Okay. So we want to optimize again for 30 to 40% lead quality. Now, if you're having trouble on the actual quality lead side of things, that usually has to do with a couple of factors. Maybe it's your creative, the video that you filmed. Maybe you don't sound convincing enough in your video. Maybe your Instagram doesn't have enough authority and social proof on it, like we discussed up here. Okay, if you look like this right here, there's a high chance that you're going to attract a lot of low identity people, right? Because when they DM you and they reach out to you, the first thing a person's going to do is look at your profile and they're going to qualify you. And A players like to work with A players. So if you don't brand yourself like an A player and you don't sound like an A player, you are not going to be able to attract A players. It's just the way it is, okay? So if you're struggling with these two right here, you need to fix those things. Now, below that, on the yellow column here, everything in the yellow has to do with appointment setting. Okay, so whether you have an appointment setter to handle all your leads, right, the 50 to 200 leads that are coming in monthly, or you're doing it yourself, these are things you want to look out for in the actual appointment setting. Okay, we want to figure out what our cost per booked call is and the cost per quality booked call. Okay, typically what I notice is that in marketing, you're going to pay anywhere from $60 to $120 for a quality booked call. Okay, that's pretty standard, pretty typical. The lead to booking rate, this is out of 10 leads, how many of those are you booking on average? What percentage? We want to aim for at least a 20% or above. If you're booking at least 20% of quality leads coming in, that's a really good number, and you can have some pretty good volume with that. We can aim for anywhere from 30 to 40 total booked calls per month if we maintain these metrics right here. Now, if you're having a show rate issue, let's just say your show rate's not at least a 70 to 80%, there's usually, it has to do not with the ad creative, not with the lead quality. It usually has to do with something in your appointment setting process. Maybe you're not sending manual outreaches a couple minutes before your actual hiring interview, right? I like to have my appointment setters call or text about 30 minutes prior to the actual meeting manually. That means not just relying on your automations, and that is naturally going to increase your sales or your show rate, okay? If you're paying like anything over $120 per booked call, you might not be getting to your leads quick enough, right? Speed to lead, right? You want to be getting to leads very quickly, okay? So you want to have a marketing system if you're using like Go High Level or anything like that. You want to make sure that you're getting text messages notifying you or your appointment setter, hey, there's a new lead, let's get to them immediately. Because the quicker you get to a lead, the more likely they are to respond back to you and actually show up on your call ready to go, Okay. Now, if you're noticing that you're getting ghosted after sending your VSL, let's just say, you send this your video sales letter presentation and they are not responding after it, right? What that's telling you right there is that maybe you don't sound convincing enough in your recruiting interview. Maybe you're rambling too much, not getting to the point, right? In a video sales letter, you ideally want that presentation to be 10 minutes long. That's like the sweet spot. 7 minutes is also pretty good, but it usually tells me that if you get it done in 7 minutes, like you probably didn't go in depth enough on the actual process. And then if you go over 12 minutes on this particular type of a VSL, that usually means that you're rambling too much somewhere in your presentation. So with that all being said, you want to make sure, again, on the appointment setting process, when you're starting to generate your own leads, you need to be getting to leads within 5 to 10 minutes maximum. Okay. You need to make sure that you have the proper mindset in appointment setting. Okay. People are naturally going to leave you on scene. People are going to leave you on red. You cannot get discouraged from that. You have to understand that at the end of the day, people are busy and you need to assume that, and we just need to follow up and do our due diligence there. Okay. If you're getting ghosted after your VSL, you probably got to film a new VSL because there's something inside of your presentation that's turning people off, or it's making people not sold on you as an actual recruiter. Okay. And if your show rate is really, really bad, it's usually because you're relying 100% on your automations and you're not actually manually reaching out to people 30 minutes before the call. Okay. Now, furthermore from that, we get down to the actual hiring interview. This is where your close rate becomes very important. We should be seeing anywhere from a 30 to 40% close rate with this kind of a funnel that I'm breaking down here with you. That means you're closing at least 3 or 4 out of the 10 people that we send you every single month. Okay. Now with that close rate, if you have less than a 30% close rate, I can practically guarantee it's probably because you're not going deeper on objections, or you're skipping something in the actual recruiting interview process. Maybe you're skipping or veering off the script. Okay. Maybe you're rambling too much on the presentation. You're not making it make sense for the prospect. Okay. Little things like that will hurt your close rate if you're not being consistent and you're not following the script. And then lastly is the licensing ratio. We want to aim for a 30% licensing ratio on the back end. Okay. That's 3 out of 10 people actually getting their license. Okay. Obviously we want to get that number higher, but realistically, this is like the number that we want to aim for. If you have less than a 30%, there's an operational problem. Okay. I'm not going to get into onboarding on this actual training here. We do help with the onboarding as well for you guys and give you guys systems that our big agency owners use in the program. But this is overall, guys, like the whole purpose of this training is to really break down what it takes if you want to scale to a higher level using social media, right? This is literally the whole process, front to back, what we're doing to help agency owners scale using their social media. Now, all this might look complex. So if this seems like a lot and you seem like, holy crap, this is literally so much that goes into this, Dylan, this is crazy. Feel free to book a call with us down below, guys. Again, we can get on a free call with you and kind of break down exactly how this looks. But the whole purpose of this call was just to give you free value and let you know this is exactly what we're doing to literally dominate the insurance space on the recruiting side. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, but that's it for today.